Welcome to the Indie Shelf Podcast, a podcast where we only interview indie authors exclusively after I've read their book because it makes the interview more fun. Um, so, before I start yapping, tell us about yourself.
I am an indie author as of 2022. That was when my first book came out. I don't what do you want me to talk about? Like I have two orange cats. I'm one of six kids. Like random things like that.
Tell me about your writing journey.
Yeah, I started this series that is my debut series. Gosh, I think it's 15 years ago is when I started it.
Wow.
And I went the traditional route of trying to query and find an agent. And I think I did that for about 5 years before I just realized that that wasn't the avenue that made the most sense to me. Because I had like such a very clear, specific vision for how I wanted the story to unfold, for what characters were going to do what and their character arcs. And so I had a very dear friend of mine pose the question of like, have you thought about self-publishing? Um, she was like, you have full creative control. And I was like, say less. So I did a deep dive on the whole intricacies of self-publishing and what that looked like. And I love the full creative control. I was able to hand draw both covers, all three covers now that book three is announced, all three covers for my whole series. And the plot is exactly the way that I wanted, and everything that the characters do, whether it's good or bad, is exactly how I had planned it. So I kind of went self-published, and then I really haven't looked back.
I yeah, I think I saw a book cover and then I like went down the rabbit hole until I found you and I'm like, "Oh my God, I wonder if she'll let me interview her because I wanted to read your book." So,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
reaching
being
out.
here. Thanks for being here. And yeah, no, I feel like that's a very common realization where people try to pursue or think about, pursuing traditional, and then there's that moment where they're like, why? And then there's that moment of like, why am I seeking this? I could just self-publish.
Yeah, it was
Um,
almost like this. I needed validation from like professionals. Like that's really why I was pursuing traditional publishing, is I just wanted like a professional pat on the back of like, you write good things. Keep doing it. And then once I realized that I loved this story and I believed in it, I was like, oh, I don't need that part anymore.
Agreed. I think I resonate a lot with what you're saying because I had the same aha moment when I started book talk about a year, almost a year now, and I thought I wanted to be traditionally published, and then I met so many indie authors, and I started this show, and I thought, yeah, what am I doing? No, I don't need that. I
Yeah,
don't need all that noise. So that's incredible. And she does write amazing things. So do you have your book with
I
you?
do. It's by my cat. Hold on. Cyrus was laying on it. Yeah.
So that's the book, The North Tower. Great book, so much fun. I So the first question I want to ask you is, how would you like describe your books to others?
I describe it as a dark fantasy, dark academia with twists of paranormal, mystery, and then a heavy dose of magic.
That is that is pretty accurate. Uh
Nailed it.
you nailed it. Yeah, because I think I remember I was doing research on you and your book before I reached out, and I read some of your reviews, and one of them is like, "Look, if you like Harry Potter, just get the damn book," or something like that. And I was like, "Okay, all right, I'll do it." And it definitely there's a moment at the beginning where it's like, I don't know if you did this on purpose. Please tell me if you did or didn't, but it's like the equivalent of "you're a wizard, Harry."
I don't think I did that on purpose, but it's like, how do you start that conversation any other way? It's like, you have magic. It's your wizard, Harry. Like, there's no other way to say it than be like, you are a magic user, period. Like, I don't.
It was so funny. I literally laughed out loud, and I
Right on.
think I think I noted it and I bookmarked it like This is hilarious. Um, Actually, I don't know how to expert notes, but I write little notes for myself to prepare for the show. And for your book, the notes are hilarious.
If you want to send him over, do it. I love Kirika who's watching. She will send like little like reactions and I'll just sit there and like screenshot it and then save it like a hermit. So yeah, if you want to send those over, do it. I'll live off of it for like the next month and a half.
Amazing. I will. I'll screenshot them every time I laughed and did some comments because
Right on.
I can totally imagine being a published author. I'm not yet a published author and getting those. That must feel so good.
It is because it's like you've written it by yourself for so long. Well, and you know, like it's so isolating and it's just you in this world. And then when somebody else has a moment with it, you're like, oh yes, me too. That's why yes. Oh
That's
my
what I
gosh, you're like
wanted.
no longer alone.
Before I have so many questions and I just want to see how I can go about this to really capture how cool this book is because we start the story with this character that is a very sad character. Her name is Charlie. um where did Charlie come from?
Oh God. So it's actually funny. I started writing, I was in the middle of another series when this idea for a character in a light blue hoodie, her name was Charlie, she was a foster kid, came butting in and was like, hey, I have a scene that I want you to write. And I was like, I'm 3 books into this other series, get in line. And she was super obnoxious, and just wouldn't let go. And so I was like, I'll just write this scene to get it out of my brain and then I'll go back to this other series. Sure, never went back to that other series. I've been with Charlie ever since. But she kind of like materialized, kind of fully fledged, like loving dark, like chocolate covered raisins, the full red streak in her hair. Like she just like popped up and was like, I have a story to tell. So I was just kind of along for the ride. At that point in my life, there were definitely things that we shared. She starts, the story starts out in Kansas, which could be argued as one of the less exciting places on this planet. And I live in Colorado Springs, which, as a teenager full of angst, I also thought it was one of the least exciting places on this planet. And so it was a, a moment of like, we're both bored where we are. Let's make something exciting. I mean, Charlie's life is super hard, and her life is not boring at all. But for me, when I started it, I was like, oh, here we are. I like something that I can kind of envision and make my life a little bit more exciting, which to her detriment meant that she had a hard life.
Yeah, actually Jess right here once told me that friends that characters are food, not friends. And I think, you got to have that mentality to make good stories. But hold up, are you in Colorado Springs right now?
I am, yeah.
I'm in Denver.
Oh my gosh! Hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. That's awesome. Well, it seems like Colorado Springs is on a roll because I feel like a couple of really cool authors are from Colorado Springs. So I feel like that collective boredness is creating this monstrosity of
Yeah, all we do is
creativity.
daydream. Yeah.
You're a powerhouse.
I will say though, as an adult, it's not a boring place. Like as a teenager who like had nothing to do but like study and like make shenanigans, it was boring. But as an adult, like there are things to do.
Okay, fair enough. It's also grown a lot over
Oh
the
my
years.
gosh, yes. Like every
So
time I turn a corner, I'm like, was that car
was that
wash there
always there?
before? Or am I meant what?
Charlie, we start off the story with this foster kid that has a very poor self-image and she thinks she cannot escape her circumstances. And it's so funny because I knew it was going to be a magical school story going in. Like I figured, I kind of put two and two together. But the way you started the story was so normal. Like I was like, how is the magic gonna come in? And I commend you for that because felt I understood where she was deeply. It actually reminded me of when I first moved to the US and I was working 3 jobs, one at a restaurant, one at a retail store. And I just like I felt that hustle, like, no, I need to get to work. Like I don't have time to have broken bones. And
Hmm.
the way that you misdirected and like humanized that, which later became like the reason because that was happening. It was really cool. You
Oh, awesome.
definitely caught me by surprise. I fell for it nose deep. Like I gasped my way through this book.
Well, awesome. Thank you.
um I also do the show and I never know if I'm gonna read a super spicy novel or a YA. I don't know why I always forget to check that.
It's a surprise for you each
It's a
time.
surprise. I love the randomness of it. And I gotta say, and I have to ask, this is the reader in me, not the
Yeah.
podcaster in me.
Okay.
Is Michael a love interest at some point?
Do you really want to know? Are you going to read book two?
I mean, okay, I'm hoping he is because the tension is insane.
Same. Because I can answer that question. I could do a PowerPoint presentation on the man that is Michael Kale.
Oh my God. He's so frustrating.
Yes.
Can I have 5 minutes to complain about my.
Please do. I think one of my favorite things is like someone was like, God, he's such an ass. And I was like, yes. That was his point.
This is the thing. Like, you throw us a curveball because we first meet. I don't even. What was his name? Sorry. When I dislike a character, I refuse to remember his name. It's not you. It's me. The in the bus, the first guy dressed in black.
Oh,
The
Atlas.
Atlas. Thank you. So I was like, okay, are we like getting on a bus and like meeting a bad boy and like going on a crazy magical adventure? No, nuclear, whatever. I'm not gonna say too much about it. And then Michael appears. I was like, okay, wait, there's too many men in the scene.
You're not wrong.
There's too many men in the scene. And then there's Daniel as well that I was like, will they, won't they? So I don't know. It's a very interesting book because I feel like it's very Charlie centered. I feel like she grows a lot in the book.
For sure.
Is book 2 and 3, does she get more externalized or is she still stuck in her head? Because she just went through like a shit ton of trauma.
Yes, you are correct. And unfortunately, that does continue throughout the series. I'm not a very nice author. Um, in book two, there is definitely a lot more of her like owning her decisions and like
Okay.
making decisions for herself to further her own plot, for
Mhm.
lack of better words. And then I won't say too much about book three because it's coming. But yeah, book two, she's a lot more like at the steering wheel, steering towards decisions that are either good or bad. Um,
Okay.
so there's a lot more autonomy there.
Okay. Um, let's talk about the theme of the book because I feel like the book explores heavily the concept of trust and this
Ooh,
whole idea that like you want something from me. And I get her. I totally understand where her skepticism comes from. I don't think anyone would fault her for her like, yeah, what do you want kind of mentality. But
yeah.
I feel like you really, and it's not a critique, it was good, but like you really like emphasize that over and over again in the book. Why is that?
I think for Charlie specifically, she's just had so much taken from her that it's always going to be the first question in her mind of, well, why would you do something for me? And I think following along the lines of she thinks that she's cursed because like I don't think it's a spoiler, so I'll just say like she has magic, but because of how she grew up, it's never been told to her that she has magic. So when things happen around her, it's just it feels like one thing after the other. So she just thinks that she's cursed. So there is that level of low self-esteem of like, well, I don't know why anybody else would do stuff for me because all I do is hurt people. And then just being tossed from one foster family to the next of having that constantly beaten into you of I'm not wanted, so why do you want me then, because that's
Yeah.
not what I've been told my whole life. So why is it when Master Lennon comes, he's like, no, we do want you. And she's like, full stop. I need you to explain every single thing about it. Um, and so I think that's who Charlie is at the beginning of the book. And like you even see it throughout the series of how she like interacts with different characters of like you want to trust Daniel so much because he's such a kind person, but like there's something in the back of your mind where you're like, is he good? Is he like um my favorite thing is when people are like, he's the bad guy. And I'm like, that's so sad because like Charlie's mistrust is like rubbing off on the readers. And I,
Yeah.
I think it's just her upbringing and how she um how how life has been experienced through her eyes is that it's just mistrust. And
Yeah.
then when she finally has something to give, she has that powerful magic status. She finally has something to offer, and then she's like, well, what, well, why, this is mine.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting because I feel like you did a really good job at putting us in Charlie's mind and like getting into that mentality with her to the point where like you never judge her. I never
Ooh.
usually there's sometimes authors like create a distance and there's a disconnect and you judge the character instead of like see the
Mm.
world through their lens. And I think you were very successful at getting us into that mentality. I never judged her. And in fact, at the end, I'm not gonna say what happened, but at the end, when you think finally something good is happening for her, she learns about something that completely destroy everything. Like the little happiness you had is gone. And so I thought that was masterfully done because I was like, God damn it.
And thank you. So yeah, it's like she is mistrustful, but then it's like she was right to be mistrustful.
Yeah.
So yay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no, it was noticed. It did not I did not gloss over it. And so what would you classify like, there's a conversation that happens a lot, but I think your story you seem like the kind of author that you prioritize your plot and then everything else is like it falls where it falls. Am I right on that? Because
Yeah,
it feels like you do have romance in your book, but it wasn't this book one is not the book wasn't the book for that.
correct. It's a slow burn. So
Okay.
like we've stacked the firewood. It will start smoldering soon. It will start to really burn in book three. It is a slow burn. But
Okay.
yeah,
How many?
I really wanted for this story for the plot to be the main focus in it, and then the relationships to kind of weave in and out and accentuate the plot, but not dominate the
Okay.
plot and take away, because there was just so much, there's so much happening, there's so much excitement, especially with book two and book three, of stuff that just needs to happen, and there's just not a lot of words on the page where it to like, this is the plot and the romance are at the same level, like we have to, like the romance and everything else like follows along with the plot.
No, I think that was oh, you have an amazing comment downstairs. You have Michelle, I literally love the North Tower so much. Me and my dad met you at Barnes and Noble. Oh, that's cool.
Hi, good to see you again.
Caracas, slow. Yeah. But you can tell, but you can feel it. And I really like that. I was is it a YA or
It's technically YA, it
okay.
reads more like a new adult.
Okay. No, it's good because it's very fun. Um I was people ask me all the time, what are you reading? What are you reading? What are you reading? And oftentimes I can't say what I'm reading, right? Because they're like, "Oh, would you recommend me a book?" And I'm like, "No." No, absolutely not. I will not recommend you a book. But your book is one that I said, "Man, I can recommend this to so many people because it's so fun and it's a lot of fun. It's a fun book." Let's talk about the magic system because I feel like once you enter into the realm of fantasy, that's one of the things that gets judged the most.
Mm.
Um, Talk to me about what you did and why you did it the way you did it.
Yeah, so I've grown up reading books with magic in it. Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, obviously. I read a lot of Cassandra Clare, And so I've just had magic on the brain from a very young age. And so when I was creating the magic system for this series, I just had a bunch of questions of, okay, so can you have more magic than another magic user? What happens when you run out of magic? If you have a lot of magic, how does that impact the body of the magic user that it's in? And then does it affect the world around them? And so answering all of those questions was super fun, and that created a caste system. So it's on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 to 3, you're a deficient. You can do some magic, but not a lot. You live the same lifespan as a regular, which is us, people without magic. And then 4 to 7, you're a common. They're the most common of magic users. You can do like the average amount of magic. You can do some wards, some charms. Um, and you can live to like 300, 400 years because you have a good chunk of magic in you. And then royals, which are 8 to 10 on the scale, they can do a ton of magic. They are not limited to what they can do. They live until something kills them. They're very rare. And it's when a royal has like strong emotions, the lights can flicker or they can dim, the temperature rises in the room, or it gets really cold. So it like impacts the world. And then what's really fun is if you have a really big emotion, it's something called a magic flare, where your magic is trying to follow your thoughts and feelings and it's all jumbled, so it just like rushes out of you. And it's really detrimental because it can like burn your organs, it can crack ribs, it can break all of the lights, it can decimate a lot of things. So you have to be really careful when you're a royal.
I absolutely adored your magic system, I have to say.
Thank you.
And you do, I highlighted so many times where I just loved your descriptions of things because I think you're very talented at describing things in a unique way. Like you're not like what is this girl's name? Sarah Maas. That you don't need 25 pages to describe a dress. You'll you know
Right
what I
on.
mean? You can just say a couple of sentences here and there and you fold them into um conversations where you give us like hints of what's happening, and it's just a very organic way to like build up the world around you. Like I could, I'm an architect on my day job and I
Oh,
can
cool.
draw your castle just by the way
Please
you
do.
described it.
I
Like
would
I
name
could
my
draw
firstborn
plans.
child after you if you drew my castle.
I know the layout. Like I got the layout of just
Well,
by the way that you described.
did you know that the center image here is the blueprint of the school?
Oh my god, no, I didn't know that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, shortcut, fair enough. Um but no, it was just is very well described, and like the center and the fact that it doesn't have a door, which I think is so cool, like what a concept. Um Also very like thematically connected to the fact that she's always felt imprisoned, like that was well done as well. But yeah, no, but one of the my favorite part about your magic system is something really, maybe you'll find it silly, but I love the idea that you have like a separate organ that's like where your magic comes from.
Thank you. Yeah, that was one of my questions. It was like, where is the magic? Like, is it
Where's
in
the
your
magic
blood?
organ?
Is it in your bones? Like, how do you run out of it if it's just like there? And so I was like, we're having an organ, and that's what's gonna contain it all.
I love that. I love that so much. I think that was so unique, because then by doing that, like the way that you describe like the sensation of it coming up to your arm, and the way that like it connects with the wand and how it powers it, and even you even went through the trouble of letting us know about the little pores that kind of absorb and also are the way that it gets emit. I just, yeah,
Thank
it
you.
was cool. Yeah, I really I judge people hard for their magic systems. I'm not afraid to I'm not afraid to say, but I really like the way that you solved yours.
Thank you.
Um, so it seems you might have already answered this question, but like, so are you the type of person that like your characters kind of lead the story and you just write it down, or once you get that initial vision, you kind of plot out and kind of take over?
It depends on the book. For the second one, I really let the characters drive it. Um, there's a lot of stuff that Charlie needs to get over in order to really align herself with the Achilles heel. And so I created like a whole trial for her to like face these fears and her memories and what she wants out of life in order to get her to that point for book three. And then book three, I had like a full outline. Like I knew where I wanted it to end. I knew where we were going. But like book two, I was like, shrugs, dude, we're figuring it out as we're going.
That's amazing. So yeah, like for book one, I'm assuming then after well, once I get to three, it'll feel a little bit like a prologue then of her like kind of getting up to this point because I think it's very focused on her and like it's slow in a way, not in a bad way, but it's like a very introspective book, I think.
Mm. Yeah, it's a lot of laying down the foundation of like who Charlie is, what the magic world is. And then once we have that foundation, book two really skyrockets into like kind of like a different playing field. Like Charlie feels like a different character by the end of book two just because of everything that she goes through and everything that like the decisions that she makes. It just alters her into like a different character. So whenever people are like, Charlie's my favorite character, I'm like, which one? Book one, Charlie? Book two, Charlie? Or book three, Charlie?
Yeah,
So
I could see
yeah.
that. I could see that. And I do have, because, Charlie is 19, yeah?
Hmm.
But there was a moment in the story, I think it was the Valentine's Day, like, party thing, where I don't know why it made felt more juvenile than 19. And I wondered three things. There was like the podcaster slash writer in me that was like, did she write these characters younger and then age them? Or is she just like never had the opportunity to be like a cute girl and like she's kind of being like a cute girl right now? Or three, a whole other reason that I can't even fathom and understand. So
No, it's definitely like Charlie's first moment where she can like she's just a girl. And she says that about Daniel that he brings out this like version of her where she just feels like a normal person. Like her background isn't weighing on her. She's not a foster kid anymore. She's just a girl at a party in a like cute red dress with a guy that she thinks is cute and he thinks she's cute and she's just like I think for her that's the first time that she's ever experienced something where she can just be a girl and just like have fun because Charlie doesn't I mean outside of her and Blake's relationship Blake is her best friend at the very beginning of the book where I think she has fun with him, but it's always across the street from the house that she it has to go home to every night, which is not a great environment. So this is like the first time where she just is able to like, oh, I can have fun. Like and I think she even forgets like all of the stuff that's happening. She just for a minute, she's just enjoying life and then the end of the chapter happens and she's like, "Oh right, we have things to do."
So do you have a specific routine or ritual that you do when you're writing?
um, ooh, I always have music. Well, I won't say always. I mostly have music playing, and that really just depends on the scene that I'm writing or the feeling that I'm trying to evoke. I always have a cup of tea that's cold because it's been sitting there for so long. It's like my emotional support tea. We
I
drink
get
it
that.
sometimes, but it's mostly just there staring at me.
I respect that actually immensely. I do the same.
I'm like severely dehydrated and starving whenever I'm drafting because I'm just like so locked in, and then I'll look up and be like the sun is gone, and why my stomach hurts because I haven't eaten anything, and my cats are like, "Are you gonna get up anytime soon and feed us, or like should we just start eating your legs?" It's like, okay, fine.
Okay, what's your favorite tea?
I there's this rainbow rooibos that I don't know if you've ever been to Glen Erie in the Springs, but
Mm.
they have like a little, it's a castle. And it's actually a very sweet story. The guy who I think founded Colorado Springs built his wife a castle. Um,
Oh,
and then she had asthma, so they unfortunately had to leave. But the castle still remains, and you can like go there for tea. And
oh,
my grandmother took us there for, I want to say like my eighth or ninth birthday.
Oh my God, this is
maybe
so cute.
younger. But in the tea room, there was this rainbow rooibos tea, and it has like rose petals and something else that's delicious, and it's hands down my favorite tea. It
That
it
sounds
just tastes like a
incredible.
not like a cupcake, but like in that vein. It's sweet. It's just delicious.
Oh my God, we have to do this. That should have been the podcast, just you and me down there talking, having tea.
We'll do an episode point two once you read book two.
I'm into this. This is happening.
Done.
Um, um, well, in that vein, you were talking about how you're super zoned in when you're writing. What was the hardest scene to write for you in the whole book?
Ooh. See, the problem is that I wrote this book a very long time ago. I'm like, what happens in this one? I think um probably when we find the diary. Um because I needed to answer all of the questions
Mm,
quickly, not in a boring way. Um and when I first wrote all of the diary entries, it was just um like book description. It wasn't like somebody's actual diary entries. And so like
yeah.
that took me like a couple times of rewriting those scenes to make it sound like it was actually somebody putting words in their diary and not like an author writing somebody putting words in their diary, you know?
Your diary, fix
Um
my plot. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah. um so I think that was probably one of the more challenging ones. And then probably um when like the whole gang of misfits comes together, because it was really easy to be like, oh, they just overheard this conversation and now they're all in it together. And like, if you know Clarence, that's definitely not his vibe at all. And so there had to be reasons and motivations, and so just like trying to get a reason for everybody to be invested in this group was a little, there was just a lot of moving pieces, and it used a lot of brain effort to be like, okay, everybody sit down at the table and participate.
Which one was your favorite to write?
Which character?
Which scene,
Oh,
character?
scene in book one. I really loved the scene where Charlie sees magic for the first time. Um, when Michael like obliterates a chair in front of her. I really loved describing how a chair would first off explode. But I just loved Michael's cockiness of like, there's you can't describe this away. So bam, now sit down and shut up and let us talk to you. I really enjoyed that. And then just like Charlie's like mental breakdown of like, but I saw it, but it's not, but it, but um and then pretty much any scene with her and Michael, because I love that she's like, your buttons, I see every single one of them, and it's going to be my keyboard. And she just plays every single one. And then he likewise just is so moody and broody. And I love how they go at each other's throats. Um, and it was hard. And those scenes were also a little difficult because it's like Charlie has all these questions and Michael has no cares for her whatsoever. So he's not going to answer a single one. But like as the author, I was like, just give us something, man. And he was like, absolutely not. Thank you so much for having me. Exit stage left.
He was very frustrating. I don't know how you had the fortitude to make him so stoic. I would have caved. I would have caved. I'll be honest. I remember I don't even know where I was in the book. And I was like, I mean, he's gonna have to give us something. And he didn't. And I was like, oh, okay.
And he's one of the ones. So when I first started the North Tower, I had like the cast. I knew like Master Lennon. I knew Atlas was going to be there. Blake, obviously. I had my full cast of characters, and I was ready to start. And then we got on the bus crashes. We're on the highway, and then all of a sudden, this leather jacket wearing jackass shows up, and he's like, "Hello, I'm one of your main characters." I was like, "You sure aren't. You did not make the call list, sir." And he was like, "Too bad." So
You
he
didn't
just
show up in time to the
no,
audition. You're not in here.
exactly. He did not have any hoots about that at all. So yeah, and every time that he was on the scene, I had no idea what he was gonna say or how he was gonna act. And every time I was like, okay, we're gonna roll with this and we're gonna see how it goes. And every time I tried to make him and Charlie have like a cozy moment or like some kind of like, oh look, we're having a little bit of compromise. We're coming on. He was like, absolutely not. It was just it was fighting him every single step of the way.
I agree with you, Karaka. I adore him too, and I don't know why he hasn't earned it. And that's right there is the
He hasn't
reason.
earned it.
He
I love that
hasn't.
so much.
He hasn't.
You're not wrong.
He's so mean and like I don't know, I guess I don't know, maybe I'm just ruined and I just can't not think about a broody man, but exactly, I don't care. I can't
It's
well,
like that meme of like he killed people, he murdered people. What do you mean? But he's such a nice man. No.
absolutely. I have us I have us when I saw Daniel, I was like, Daniel, no, we don't have time for you. I can't explain it. I don't have proof, but I think I have no proof that this is going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. He's actually disappearing immediately. So I have no idea where this notion is coming from, but there's no time for you.
Sir, please
Yeah,
step aside.
please. I am team Michael all the
Okay.
way. All
Okay.
the way. I stand by that. And I think Garaka does too.
I think I'll agree with you on that one, yeah.
um how long does it take you? I mean, it feels like book one is kind of like not a great example because it was kind of the first one, but now that you're in the groove of things, how long does it take you from like, oh, I'm gonna write this book to publishing?
Oh gosh. I'll probably, and it's different for everybody, but I'll probably say for me it's 2 years. Like it takes me about a year to write the book and then just like get like the pieces where I want it. And
Yeah.
then year two is where I'll have like my beta readers, I'll get my proof editor, cover design, formatting. And so like 1 year is like totally designated for the creation, and then the second year is for like actually making it a physical copy.
Okay. Yeah. Um, which by the way, totally buying your book as a trophy. Because I
Yay.
have all my guests, I buy their book as a trophy, but yours, I'm gonna buy it in like hardcover because it's like it's that girl. I like the cover so much.
If you
Um,
get it from my TikTok shop, I sign them and then I wrap them with brown paper, and it comes with a gold wax stamp, and
okay. I'm glad you
it's
told me
very
that.
fun for me. So,
I'll do that. I'll do that. Actually, hold on. Let me make a note of this. Buy from TikTok shop. Okay, it'll be done. Can confirm she totally does. Nice. Nice. Um, so how do you manage your inspiration? Because these are very creative books and it's a very creative world. Does it kind of come like do you chase it or do you kind of are you doing your life and you just wait for it to show up?
ooh, I mean, I definitely think there are some scenes that like came to me while I was like doing the dishes or something
Hmm.
mundane like that. But there are other things where with book two where I knew I needed Charlie to get over fear, and so I had to kind of figure out like what vein do I want that to look like, how do we make it happen, and then is there like an event that I can kind of shape to propel Charlie into it to kind of face those things. So it just it depends on what the scene demands and what the book is. Like with book three, I knew where I was going, so I didn't have to chase too hard.
Hmm.
But even with that one, like things came to me that wasn't according to the original plan and outline, and so I was able to be like, "Ooh, that's really good. I'll slot that in here," or "Ooh, that's really good. I will ditch this fourth of the draft that I've been working on." But that's fine. It's how it happens. So it just really depends.
Okay, fair enough. Um, what would you say are the tropes of your book?
Um, for book one or the whole series?
Let's do book one first, and then let's do the whole series.
Book one, dark academia, murder mystery, paranormal, Kind of I think there's a little gothic vibe with just like how creepy the school is.
Yeah.
Um, and then Found Family is a big one.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I just had one and it was right there. Does Magic Heist count as a trope?
I please that
Let's send
should
it, please.
be yeah.
Deliciously snarky, as Kirika likes to say. It's deliciously snarky. Um, and then oh, there's another one. Oh, Reluctant Hero.
Ah, that's cool. Okay, I can definitely see that. She's very reluctant. That's for
Yes, yeah, it's
sure.
like pulling teeth sometimes.
Like, girl, just go, okay?
Just do the thing.
Um, the person you chose to murder, how dare you? This
I get that a lot.
this is this is the best part of doing this is that I get to scorn authors for their decisions live. So how dare you?
And you know what? I take full responsibility. You're right. It is my bad. Um, I too was devastated and
I had to do
yeah,
a double take on that one.
fair, super
I
fair.
I was like, wait, did I forget the names of these characters and do I have them all wrong? Because there's absolutely no way that I just read what I read. Um, that was that
It's
was
like that when
brutal.
you turn the page, you're like, I better not have just read what I just read. How
I
dare
I
you?
honestly I honestly thought that I just swiped wrong in my Kindle. I like went back and read the 2 pages beforehand and I was like, no, 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 wait, no, hold on. How I made this up. Like no, that was brutal.
It was
Um
real, unfortunately. Yeah.
that's yeah. Where did the school come from? Where did you get like where is the school? Is it in the States?
The location is actually secret. So
Oh.
I actually don't, as the author, I don't even know exactly where it is.
Oh,
Master Lennon
okay.
is very good at keeping that location hidden. But
Respect.
really wanted a place that was unique. I loved the idea of it being made of all black stone. Because I just thought that would add to like a kind of a creepy factor, but also like it was kind of otherworldly. Like there's not a lot
Mhm.
of places, at least not that in Colorado Springs, that are just like it's black floor, ceiling, walls. So I kind of liked the uniqueness of that, and then just to like really make it stand alone, because like quite a few magic school books, a lot of it happens not actually inside the walls. Like it happens in like for Harry Potter, the Forbidden Forest, or Camp Half Blood. It happens like outside of the cabins, and so I kind of wanted it to stand alone of like you can't go outside, that's not a part of the limit, like the property of this story. So there's gonna be no walls, there's gonna, well, not no walls, there are tons of walls, there's gonna be no doors, and the only way in and out is to be magically ported. But I also thought of like, well, they're magic users, so they can throw a school into the middle of the forest. It doesn't have to have any roads to it, so why would there be doors? You can just pop in and out of it.
I love that concept and I love the concept of the stones that teleport you and like I think obviously there's like any story like sci-fi like everything there's similarities between doing a magical world but I think you were really creative in the way that you explained your magic because one of the funnest things was watching her try to port and like failing miserably and I commend you for that. This she fails so much.
Yes. Yes,
And
she
I mean
does.
that in the best way possible.
I think one of
She
my
just
favorite reviews on Goodreads is like, this is the most realistic training montage I've ever seen. I was like, I did it. I did it.
that is so true. It is a very realistic training montage. Absolutely. But again, it could only be executed well if you had your talent of if you have your talent of description because I do really think that is your forte.
Oh,
Um
thank you.
the way that you just conversationally let us know how things work. You don't go on this like binge of 40 paragraphs explaining like, and there was once upon a time that blah blah blah. No, you're just like following this girl around, and then you're like, oh, and that's how that's why we're at war.
And that also attests to like how much Michael doesn't care, is because like I'm not going to explain this to you, like you'll get it context clues. But also when you think about it, if you've like Michael's 219 years old, I think, no, 217 in book one. um and like when you've grown up in something for so long and it's just a part of your world, you're not going to be like, oh, and then this is how elevators work. Like it's just how it, we know it, so we don't explain it. And so when Charlie's like, slow down for a second, he's like, I don't know how to explain this. It's just, this is how it works. This is like, you push the button and it comes to you. There are no elevators in the Magisterium of Magic, if anybody's listening to that. But
You
as
don't
the
need them.
example goes,
Um, no, but you also you did that, and then they also know what cars are, and like shopping and having their nails did, and like so it's cool because it's like more they're more aware of non-magical people than
yeah,
I think other magical, like for example Harry Potter. They're like, what is a car? And you're like, come on.
yeah.
They're like, what is electricity? And you're like, don't be silly. Like
I really liked the idea of having it integrated, um, because like it didn't, for at least for this scene, because like Charlie's growing up in it. It just made more sense to have them integrated where, yeah, they do drive cars. Some magic users are dentists. Like they just, the worlds mesh a lot more, but like there's still a separation for magic users, obviously, but it's just like, yeah, you'll take the subway if you don't want to port. If you don't have enough magic, you'll take a taxi. You'll still go to the supermarket for your tomatoes. Like it's, they live very similarly.
yeah, and I think the caste system is a really good way to also like mesh that integration because I can totally see a level 8 just teleporting in their tomatoes, but a
Oh yeah,
level 2 would go and take the subway and shop and put it in a
yeah,
bag and then walk back home. Like I don't know, I think that's really cool. And it's a really great way to add internal conflict, like to create an imperfect world that has nothing to do with like people that don't have magic. I don't know, it just made the world feel more real that they had so many internal struggles
mm,
societally that were
yeah,
independent of these guys. It wasn't a like us versus them. It's muddy and complicated and nuanced, and I think that like made your world feel much more alive and bigger, even though it all takes place in this like one spot.
yeah. Very cool. I love that.
Why did you choose the POV that you did?
I I don't know if I really chose it or if I just started writing in first person. I think because Charlie is so raw and honest, it made the most sense to do first person, from her perspective. Because like all of my other series that I have planned are actually in third person. This is like
Oh,
the only one that I've really stuck with first, and I think it just made sense because she's kind of like a live wire. She's not apathetic about a lot of stuff. She either loves or hates things. And so I think I really wanted to have that come through. And the best way to do that was to be fully seated, in her body, in her thoughts, with her emotions.
I love that. I really do. I love first person. A lot of people criticize it, but I think such a powerful tool.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and I think it's kind of like the and I'm gonna get some backlash for this, but I think it is the POV of our generation as writers. You know how every
Ooh.
like every couple of decades has like a thing, and I think first person is ours.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll agree to that.
I feel like we've dominated that in very creative ways, and I'm proud about that. You
Go
know,
us.
like go us, pat her back a little bit. um. Okay. Sorry. Were any characters inspired by real people?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. for sure. Um,
Tea.
so Cornelia Montgomery, who is a literal angel of a human being, is uh kind of like a mesh of two of my sisters.
Okay.
Very sweet, very loving people. Um, uh, there is a character in the next book named Meg who is fashioned off of my older sister. She's very snarky. She's very like, this is the way that it is, and if you don't like it, I don't care. um, so we love Meg, and then there are a couple characters that I won't actually name, who are off of people who I was okay beating up a little bit,
Okay.
because I can't, or else I'll go to jail. So it was nice to rip out their hearts or, throw them off cliffs. So, yeah.
Good. I love this. I mean, it's is it cheaper than therapy?
um, Money wise, yes. Time wise, no. Because I'm like, again, I've been writing this series for forever.
And how many books is it total?
It's gonna be three.
Oh, so we're done. Hold on, it's making me do the puzzle thing. Okay, there we go. So three. So we're at the end. There's a finish line.
There's a finish line. Yeah.
Hey, how do you feel about that?
It depends on the day, honestly. Like,
Wow. Okay.
today I'm really excited about it, because I like filmed a bunch of content for the rest of the month. So I'm like, I'm excited, I'm ready, I can't wait to hold it. I also got like the first formatted pages from my typesetter 2 days ago, and so like seeing it in with like real font and like page numbers was like so emotional and so exciting. But if you asked me on New Year's, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing like why am I doing this book this fast? Like, and like it's not this fast. It's been 15 years.
Yeah,
And it comes out in 6 months. So like there's nothing fast about it. But I was like, why did I decide to do this? Who thought this was a good idea? Where's the committee of Michelle's that should have like reined me in from this decision? So it definitely differs on the day.
okay,
And I
no,
think
that's
it's kind of
fair.
like the five stages of grief almost, because these characters have been a part of me for almost half of my life, which is like crazy. And so to think like once this book is out, I'm done with Charlie and like her journey. And that's like I just can't wrap my brain around it quite yet.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. I describe writing very often with the five stages of grief. I describe editing that way too. I feel
Oh,
like
for sure.
writing, someone once told me that deciding to write a book was insanity because there's no reason for you to pursue such a thing. Would you agree with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, like who chooses to sit in front of a computer for like 12 hours a day, hallucinating pretty much, and then going through emotions that we have no business feeling, um, and then inflicting it upon other people. Like who it's not anybody's thought of a good time, I'll tell you that, and I do it for a living.
That's awesome. So you do this full time?
I do. Yeah, last year was my first time, like my first full year of doing it full time.
Wow. Oh my God, that must feel incredible.
It is, yes, it is incredible. It's also like super nerve-wracking because it's like, God, I hope people like these books to buy them so then I can then pay my bills.
So what's been the reception of your books? Like what's that journey been like?
People have been unbelievably kind. Kirika, I met over a couple months ago, a few months ago, I actually don't know. It feels like it's been forever now, though. But I think that's what I love about books so much is that it brings people together that you wouldn't normally like interact with, or like you just have no way of connecting with them. And so it's been so cool to have people on, like I have this very lovely reader in Maryland who will send me messages every once in a while being like, I just reread the book and I noticed this for the first time. And
Wow.
or my mom, who like is not the biggest reader, like I mean she reads a lot, but it's more nonfiction. And
Mhm.
so when the first book came out and she read it, she was like, can I jump in and like help with book two? I'm like, how can I be involved in this? And so
That's so
it was
sweet.
cool to have a new relationship with my mom that I hadn't had before. And so it's it's so crazy. Every time like something new happens, I kind of have to like pinch myself and be like, this is like sit here in a minute and absorb this what you're feeling and really take a minute and read each word of this really sweet Instagram message or email and like take a minute to actually absorb it. Like don't brush it off and keep going. Like just take a minute. Like there was a very kind reader. Her name is Miranda. She sent me a message through my website, and it was the first time that somebody had said that it was a 6-star read. It was their favorite book that they've ever read. They recommend it to everybody, and then she ends it with, "I hope your pillow is cold on both sides and your coffee is good every morning." And so I have that printed out by my desk to remind me, like your writing is fine, you're doing good, keep going. So it's been really, I mean, there's obviously people who are like, you say cheese and rice too much, and this is a 1 star, and I DNF'd it. Like, there's everybody has an opinion and they're entitled to it. But the people who have had great things to say about it have been very kind, and it's been very cool.
That is incredible. And I feel like it's very normal to constantly think that you suck at writing. I've learned that the hard way that
Well, you read it all the time, and so you like see it constantly, and you're like, this is normal. Like this is just a sentence, and then some reader reads it, and they're like, oh my gosh, that pierced my soul. And it's like, of course you think it's mundane because you've read it 18,000 times, and so you're like, I don't know what words mean anymore.
absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely. So
Dan, cheese and rice.
she's right. So yeah, I just wanted to like let this moment land because I think what you said was so beautiful. But that is definitely one of the questions. Is like cheese and rice. Where did it come from? Because the first time I read it, I was like, okay, that sounds nasty from a food standpoint, but it's also fun to say. So like
It's
what
so fun to say.
walk me through it. Walk me through it.
I honestly have no idea how it came to be, why it's Charlie's staple saying, and every time I tried to pry it from her mouth, she was like, I'm going to say it 30 more times just to piss you off, which is very classic Charlie. I actually had an editor who was like, you need to take this out entirely. And I was like, I don't think that I can. Like, I just, we no longer use that editor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
it just, I have no idea how it came about. I don't know why. I think it's hilarious, and
It's
I
so
just
funny.
love the little like quirk that it gives Charlie of like she has every single reason in the world to use the most language ever, but she chooses to say cheese and rice. I can't tell you. I've literally no idea why it's there.
Well, I adore it, I have to say,
Thank
because
you.
I find it so endearing and it's absolutely her. And it's, I don't think I'll ever read that again from any character ever in the story of humanity. And I'm okay with that. That's really cool that you, not like I'm okay with it like in a bad way. I'm just like so glad that you were able to give her something so uniquely hers that isn't jarring. I mean, it's jarring in the way of like if you're
Like
hanging out
what?
with new people. Yeah. Like, and like you're hanging out with a new person and they say something crazy, but not, it's just so endearing. I
I
loved
think
it.
Michael even says in book 2, he's like, what is it with you and cheese and rice? Like, is it something you eat? And she's like, it's just a saying. And he goes, out of all of the sayings in the world, why would you choose that one? And she comes back with, like, out of all the personalities in the world, why would you choose yours? Very
Loved
classic.
Do not threaten me with a good time because I might start reading the second one when we hang up. Like
I won't discourage you from that. I say do it, but I'm
because
biased, so.
now that it's been tickled and teetered, I just need more Michael. I have so many unresolved feelings that
Yep,
like
super fair. And that was intentional.
okay, good, 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 good. I was scared when I asked that question. I was scared that you were gonna be like, he's 202 years older than her. You're a freak. Like I thought.
No, no.
A part of me was like, oh no, maybe I've read one too many dark romances and I'm looking too much into this. Okay, good. Good,
Yeah,
good,
I won't
good.
say anything.
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay,
really
okay, okay,
controlling my
good.
face words right now.
Okay, I'm gonna um did you know the ending before you like from the get-go, or did that kind of reveal itself?
That revealed itself. I once I finished book two, I had a like a vague idea of where I wanted it to end. But then maybe when I want to say a third or a halfway through the first draft of book three, I was like, hold on a second. Oh my gosh. We need to go back to book one and we need to start putting some Easter eggs and we need to start laying some things down if we're going to make this work. And then the ending came in crystal clear focus, and the rest of the outline just kind of like chink, 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 chink. So, yes,
So you wrote all three books first and then started kind of the publishing process?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why it took so long is because there was so much groundwork that I needed to lay in book one for the climax of book three to make sense and for like certain character arcs to land where I wanted them, that it all needed to start in book one and then like continue obviously in book two, but with like more elements. And so in order to do that, I needed to have those books pliable in order to do that. I
Sure.
didn't want to publish book one and then be like, oh, wait a minute, I needed to go back and I actually needed So I was like, we're gonna write the whole series first and make sure that it hits the beats that I want before I like cement it in stone.
Okay. No, that makes sense, and I commend you for that. I don't know if I would have the resiliency to do that, but I was stuck in book one on this tiny little scene, and I, on a whim, drafted book two like in bullets, and it clarified everything
Mm-hmm.
that I was stuck in. So I can totally, I think about that a lot. And I've interviewed a couple of authors that are like, some of them are writing them as they go, and others like plot the whole series. And it's just interesting how it feels like you have more control when you wait. Good thing comes to
You
those who
do.
wait.
Yeah. You definitely do because you're able to be like, oh, this is a cool plot point. I'm able to go back and like foreshadow it, or allude to like moving pieces behind the scene. And so when you get to like this moment, you're like, oh, we've been talking about this since chapter 14 in book one. So like, and that's kind of what I wanted is when people reread this series to be like, oh, damn, we've been talking about this since the prologue. Like we've known what's going to happen in book three since the start. We just didn't know because we didn't have the context. So like
Wow.
there's, oh wait, I won't say that. That's a spoiler. But like there's just a lot of little fun things that I was able to do
Nice.
that. I actually I have a paperback set that I went through and I put a tab on every like Easter egg and foreshadowing thing that I did so I could see like all of it, for book three.
What?
It's very cool.
Oh my God. Okay, when I finish book three, I'm gonna text you and I want you to show me everything I missed.
You got it.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Do you read a lot?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
These are only two of my bookshelves.
I understand. I understand. Okay, good. No, because sometimes I talk with authors and they're like, I can't read while I'm writing. So it's always a toss up. Even when they have like these gigantic bookshelves behind them, they're like, yeah, well I write, I can't read. So
I've heard people say that too, and I need to be entertained. Like after like having so much mental work of like creating this and be like, all right, what word do I want to use here? To like then pick up a book and be like, okay, I don't have to do that. Just entertain me. Just give me all of the goods. So like I have a whole stack of books that's on my nightstand. Like and it just grows every day. It feels like so yeah, I have to be reading just for my own mental sanity, or else I just like kind of like play my book on a loop of like, well,
yeah,
maybe I could do this instead. Maybe I should Charlie do that? And like, no, I need a break.
I totally agree with that. And I for me, I think it allows you to stay in the reader experience and like do not become too authory. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like not
yeah.
only just replaying your book, but like you become kind of this like orchestrator, and sometimes you need to be catered to in order to like get your aha moments, I think.
Yeah, well, and to read other people's work and to see how they tell stories is so inspiring and like it fuels your own creativity. Like I don't know if you've read anything by Maggie Stiefvater. She wrote The Raven Cycle.
Mhm.
Um, it's such a weird story, but it's so beautifully written. Like when I first read it, I was like, I didn't know we could use words like this. And so it was kind of like freeing to be like, I can describe things how I want to describe them. Like there isn't like a cut and dry, like you use these words. It was just kind of like you can whatever fits the situation, obviously make it make sense. But like it was just freeing to be like, oh my gosh, I am the creator of this, so I can kind of do whatever I want to make it make like to fill the vibe of the book.
I love that. Yeah, it's sometimes you do get stuck in that trap of like how it's supposed to look, and you're like,
Yeah.
that doesn't exist. Like it's your book. But at the same time, do you find that as you're editing perhaps maybe not while you're like raw creating, but as you kind of refine your books, is there like a marketer part of you that makes a decision because it'll be a little bit more marketable, or are you totally experimental and like you're as free as a bird?
Um, well, that's a good question. I think with so I've been writing this series and then my next series for the last 15-ish years. So I haven't been like blank page fully creating for since before I started since I became an actual published author. I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, there's definitely like when I'm editing, I'm like, oh well, readers are gonna get a kick out of this. Um, which like sometimes that's really exciting, and then other times it's like, oh, I need to hit these beats so that readers feel these emotions, and it's like, wait a minute, stop, we're not writing it for people. What do the characters need in this scene? What does the plot need? What does the actual mood of the scene need? Like have I hit all of the senses? So it's kind of detrimental sometimes to have like readers in the back of your mind, but also it's like it's exciting to be like they're gonna like get a kick out of this scene, or they're gonna throw the book at this one, or I'm gonna get so much hate mail. I fully expect Kirika to send me at least 5 really angry texts, at least 5. Um, so I think that answered your question. I feel like I got off
Absolutely,
topic.
absolutely. And it also explains why you're so good at describing things, because you said something really powerful. You said like, "Oh, that I hit all the five senses," and that is actually that something that I struggle with. And so when you said it, I was like, "Ah, you're so smart," and I can totally see how that manifests in your book. So
I
that
can't
was
take
really cool.
credit for it. I was a one of my critiques, or like critique partners from like, gosh, it feels like 1,000 years ago. Um, it was like the best writing advice that I had ever had was like all 5 senses. You don't need all of them present because obviously you're not tasting something every second of every day. But I think it was like you need to have 3 of the 5 senses um, present in each scene. So like what does that look like?
Yeah,
And there's so many times where like my first draft, I'm like, what? There are no senses in this one other than sight. So I think that really like gosh, that was such a game changer when I heard that because it just like it solidifies it so much of like, oh, what are we hearing? Is it what's the temperature in the room? Is somebody wearing a really scratchy sweater and you can hear it? Yeah, that was a game changer for me.
I can. Yeah, no, I think it made your story all the better, and it was so tactile and like you feel like you're there. Like I said, I can draw these rooms. I know where we're at when you describe the castle. It's cool. You're really talented at that. and
Thank you.
and and not to say that you're not talented on the other parts. It's just that that really stood out to me. Your banter is really funny too. The amount of times that I put a note like, oh, okay, like I don't know which I don't know where it was, but like someone, probably Michael, said something snack and snarky, and I said, "Okay, Daddy, chill." Like I wrote, "Okay, Daddy, chill." Like
If you find it, please send that to me just so I can like giggle.
I have to go through it, but I know that it's written there because I yeah I note up all my books in the Kindle. That's why I love reading them there, even if I do end up getting trophies, because I can just like text notes to my future self.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's so fun. It's like a time capsule, right? Like you can go back and be like, wow, this scene really hit me, and right now it's really not. Or like, man, this was really funny in the moment. Or like, this scene I didn't even think was funny. Now it's hilarious.
No, it's true. And I think that's the best best moment to review a book. It's like right after you finish it. I actually write like my review the moment I close the book. I have this little template that I write it like raw, unfiltered, unhinged. And then I construct my reviews off that. Like I tame it a little bit, you know. Make sure I don't put spoilers or anything in it. And then after we do the show, I'll go in and like review everything and do all the things. But I think it's super important to have that like rawness to it.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. Because sometimes you finish it and then you're like, I'll remember this, and you like a week goes by and you're like, what even happened in that book?
I know you're like,
What's
it was
funny?
good, I guess.
Yeah. You're like, John. There was a John in that book. Like he was the main character's boyfriend. You're like, no idea.
You had a boyfriend?
Totally gone.
All I know is Michael.
Yep. Same.
um, so walk me through your process a little bit. You mentioned editors, you mentioned people that do covers and formats. So you have like a whole team behind you at this point.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, so I it's kind of hard to explain. So like I draw all of the covers and then I hire somebody to like actually like give it a spine and like put the back details
Gotcha.
on. And then a formatter who I give them a really long Microsoft Word document and then they make it look like a real book. Her name is Emily. I have worked with her for the whole Royal trilogy, and she's quick, she's meticulous. Like I had a formatter for the first formatter I got for book one was not great. She did not know what a straight line looked like, and so like the margins were like, yeah,
Oh no.
which was devastating. And so I had to hire somebody new, and that's how I found Emily. And she's a miracle worker. I will never take a straight line for granted ever again. And then, yeah, I have, I'm dyslexic, so I can't edit my own books because my brain is like, looks good to me. And then other people read it and they're like, none of these words are correct in this sentence and they're all misspelled. Uh, so I hire somebody to edit it and then proofreading, which is like the biggest thing because I'm still learning what a semicolon is
God
and
forbid.
how to use that.
I don't know.
Um, so I
All
think
I
I have it
know,
figured out, but we'll see.
all I know is that you use them when you're listing things, but not always. It's like a vibe check thing,
It is, and
you know?
that's what one of my editors were like. As long like there are rules, but there aren't rules. But as long as you're consistent, it's fine. And I'm like, what does that mean?
I,
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know. I totally get that. Sometimes I get suggestions for like semicolons and I'm like, what is
Yeah,
that?
why? What do you mean? Yeah, or like
Trust
when they're
me.
like, let's take out this M dash, and I'm like, listen,
Look, let me stop you right there.
we're gonna leave them there.
It's funny that you say that because in my first draft, I didn't use a single M dash, a single one.
That's
But then as
amazing.
I am in draft three, like nearly done. It's draft 355, but I'm calling it draft three to be
Yes,
nice.
yeah,
Um,
for your
and
sanity.
to have a straight line. And I call it the revenge of the M dashes because there's so many moments where I'm like, oh my God, you know what looked really good there? An M dash. So we'll see. I'll keep
I
you
did like
posted.
the search, the find in my document. Just I was like, I'm just curious to see how many M dashes that I have. It was a real humbling experience. There was like over 500. I was like, in my defense, this book is over 800 pages long. This is fine. I did take out a couple just for like my own sanity, just to say that I did.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
oh, I'm an M dash girly all the way.
It's just, what else are you gonna do when you want short, punchy sentences? I don't, like
Periods like a peasant? No.
Like
Nah.
commas, I find commas to be contrived, to be honest. Like they're expected to do too much and they don't even look that good.
They hold the weight on their shoulders and they're tired. Share with the M dash.
Mm-hmm. Commas are tired. They do a lot of heavy lifting.
They do.
People think it's periods, but I am gonna
Periods are
heavily
basically
disagree.
things. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry if I'm swearing on your podcast and you're not
Oh,
swearing podcast.
I actually said, if she's writing cheese and rice, I probably shouldn't swear. So I'm
Oh,
glad you swore because
nope.
I am a sailor.
Do what you
Um,
gotta do. Yeah.
so what is one message that you wish readers leave with about you?
Oh, about me?
Yeah.
Uh, immediately my brain was like, I'm just a girl. But that's not what I want them to walk away with. um, oh, I don't know. I really want everybody who interacts with me to feel like they're important and they're seen. Um, I really try hard to make it feel like a safe space and like it's comfortable to be yourself and to have fun. Um, yeah, growing up, there was I think most people experience this in high school or different walks of life where you kind of like tailor yourself to like fit in with different groups of people or to be around different people or family members. Um, and I just want to be a space where you don't have to tailor. And I think that's what I love about Charlie is that she's herself, period. Like there's no compromise of like she loves chocolate covered raisins and if you come at her for that she's like well I'm just gonna eat this tub by myself then like you don't have to enjoy it with me but I'm not changing my snack preference and that's a very like trivial little thing but um I think I wrote that into Charlie because I know what it's like to be in spaces where you feel like you have to tailor who you are or conform or like be a chameleon and like change your colors to like to shrink into a different space. But I just want people to have like their like to take up space and it's okay if you take up some of my space. I want you to take up some of my space.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. That's beautiful. Okay, what's your favorite color?
yellow.
Wow, yellow. You don't hear that one often.
I it's been my favorite color since I was a very very young child, and like it's funny because like my whole personality with this book is red, and it's like nope, it's yellow.
It's funny because my favorite color is red. So obviously the cover called me across the room, the
Yeah.
metaphorical room that is TikTok.
Are your glasses red?
They have a little red
Love
and
that.
purple on the inside. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I'm committed. I am committed.
Committed to the bit. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was 2 and I said my favorite color is red, and then I never changed my mind. I think it's the one thing I've never faltered.
I think so too. Yeah. I mean like I red is probably my second favorite color just
A good
because
one.
like it's so pretty. But yeah, yellow I was like and this is my personality trait from until I die.
Yeah, I mean, respect, respect.
Right back
Um,
at you.
what is one thing or many things you've learned about yourself through this process of becoming a writer and doing this series?
Ooh. I actually realized recently that I think I write my insecurities into my books. Like
Whoa.
most characters, like I think every author puts a piece of themselves in different books, but I think I came to the realization a few months ago. I was like, I think it's my insecurities that I put into these characters. Like I'm very careful of what words that I use. I'm kind of a perfectionist in that way, which I'm trying not to be. Um, but like it to then on the flip side of like Charlie doesn't mince her words. Like she just like she says what she thinks and consequences be damned, which she has a lot of consequences after that. But to like experience that of somebody who like is very careful with their words to then see somebody who isn't was kind of fun. And then my next series, I kind of wrote my perfectionism and my people pleasing tendencies into this character, and for to see how he kind of like combats that. So I mean, like I know what my insecurities are. I didn't in my books to point those out to me, but Um, yeah, I think hope that answered your question. Sorry.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you're, I think you already answered this. You're a tea person through and through.
I am. Yes, I can't
Okay.
handle caffeine. Like if I
Okay.
drink black tea on an empty stomach, my hands shake and I feel like I'm dying. So I can't handle any kind of caffeine.
Wow. Wow. Okay. What is your favorite rule that you love breaking?
Oh, I don't know if I have does the speed limit in my HOA count?
Okay, so you follow the rules. The
I,
most,
I I do, but it's like I don't have a reason to break them.
okay.
Yeah.
What about book writing ones? Do you think you've broken any rules? M dashes.
Uh,
I know it.
what?
M dashes.
Yeah, there it is. I was about to say, I was like, does M dashes count? Because yeah, I use those like I'm sowing a wildflower field, and I'm like, everybody gets an M dash. Uh, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest one. Gosh, yeah, I don't. And that's the thing is like there are no real writing rules. I would
Yeah.
say like tell the story you want to tell, and um, yeah, that's a good
Uh,
question. I'll have to think about that. I'm gonna like comb through my books and be like, did I break anything in here? How did we
yeah.
do?
Do you think, I mean, I think you were very good at the murder mystery was good. I couldn't guess it. And when I found out who was behind it, I I didn't catch it. I was like, you know, like that Spanish novella meme, that was me. I was like, it was you.
I love
that
that.
was that was crazy. Um how you have a lot of followers, I realized the other day. Um and obviously your book is successful because you're a full-time writer.
Paying
So
the bills.
how pays your bills? That's crazy. I mean, that's the dream.
We're
That's
still
the
eating
goal.
ramen noodle, but you know what? The
Hey,
lights are on. That's all that matters.
hey, just put some just put some chocolate covered raisins and you're fine. um so how has your writing, of course, and then being so in the public, right? You have to do content every day. You got to put yourself out there. The mortifying of scrolling through TikTok and finding a video of yourself reposted or something. Like how has that changed you?
Um, gosh, I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I super if I could be off of social media, I would be such a happy person, I think. I hate the sound of my voice, and so like editing videos, and I mean I can't even imagine as a podcaster like
The worst.
listening to your voice, editing it. Or do you edit your own podcast
I
episodes?
do everything.
Cheese and rice girl.
It's
Blessings
brutal.
to you. You get it. It's the worst.
Brutal. Brutal
So
stuff.
it's fun because you get like have a direct avenue to like interact with readers and to pitch your book and to have like there's just such a instant connection. Like there's very little barriers of people who want to like talk to you. Like if they want to talk to you about your book, they can just send you a message, and like that's really fun. And like people in the comments of things is really neat. Like Dan, I think Dan might still be here, but like he'll comment on videos and or on posts, and I just get a kick out of him. Like it's so fun to like interact with people in that space. But on the flip side, it's like every time that somebody sends me a direct message, my stomach drops because it's like, what unhinged thing am I opening today? Like, what is happening? Because you know, there's like some very weird guy who's like, I would buy your socks, and it's like, God, like, what?
Okay.
Why am I here? I just want to sell books. I don't want to deal with this.
I wow, that is, I'm gonna start framing that the answers because that one is by far the funniest one. I want to buy your sock. Hold on, let me write that down.
I want to buy your socks,
I
and I
want
wish
to.
that I was joking about that. I'm
Oh,
not.
I know you're not. I am so convinced that you are not. Should I put that on a t-shirt?
Do it. Yeah. Live your dream.
um, what are you currently excited to explore next? You said you were writing another series, so what's happening?
I actually finished that series.
Oh,
It is all first drafts and ready to go. Well, not
I've
ready
never
to go. God,
seen.
it's ready to start editing. That's what I meant to say.
Yes.
So uh, I think next week, my plan is to like crack open that first puppy and then just see how bad it is because I
Yeah.
haven't opened it since 2018. So it's gonna need a lot of TLC, but I'm really excited to start that process of polishing it, making it come together. And then I've had the covers in my brain for so long. And so I'm really
Ooh.
excited to figure out, am I going to hire somebody or do I need to take some charcoal lessons and figure out if I can do it myself? But so I'm really excited about my next series.
Is it the same genre? What are you exploring new things? What's going on?
It's dark fantasy. It will be. It won't be young adult. I think it will be just fantasy, just dark fantasy. But yeah, it's a 5 book series. Um, it has a male protagonist.
Ooh.
And then I think that's all I can kind of say without giving away. I could talk about it for forever, so I'm like, rein it in. Like
Okay, fair enough.
it's
Fair enough.
garbage right now, so we can't talk about it because it will change.
Will
So,
change. Yes. Um, if you could go back and talk to yourself at the start of your publishing journey, what would you say?
ooh, um, probably just like it's fine. Where you are is okay. Like it takes time, and maybe that's it. It takes time. Like it will take time to build momentum. It will take time to get like figure out how you want to pitch this book. It'll take time to get comfortable in your skin of being an author. Um, because I think like right out of the gate, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna post a couple videos and then we're gonna be a TikTok sensation. Sure didn't happen. So I think I mean it's very humbling to have that kind of thought process, but it takes time and just to be okay where you are, and it almost makes it feel like more sweet when you do get to a place where you did want to go. Like I had a full-time job when I published The North Tower, and so it took time to be able to sell enough copies and to have that momentum to then become a full-time author. And so like I didn't have that at the start, but now that I do and now that I have it, it's sweeter because I've worked for it and I've put in the time and the effort to reach that. And so I think that would be it. Just it's okay where you are and you're working towards it.
So, what does success look like for you then? Like, because you're such in such a great place. Usually, when I ask this question, people want to get to where you are now. So, when you are here, what do you aspire to?
Um, I mean, I would love to feel like an author. Like it's weird. Like I have almost 3 books to my name. You think that I'd be like, I am an author. I can do this thing. And but most of the time I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't feel confident in it. I've written so many books, and every time that I open a document, I'm like, can I even do this anymore? What happens if I used up my creative well and that was it?
Totally
Like I
get
was
that.
given 8 books and we're done, and I've used all of them. Um, so
That is so
it's like
relatable.
I would love to be able to like confidently sit with that title and to like be I am very very proud of it, but I'd like to be confident in it. And I think from what V.E. Schwab, I don't know if you've read any of her books. She's a powerhouse of a fantasy writer, but based on what her content is, because she's posted like 22 books or something, but
Oh
she
wow.
said like no, you'll have imposter syndrome until you die. And I was like, cool. So this will never go away. But
Oh.
I'd like to like chip away a little bit at the imposter syndrome and feel a little bit like I can take up space. I am an author. I can do this.
Um, well, I always tell all of my guests to give me a one-liner. It could be like your favorite quote, it could be like your motto, something about your book, something about yourself, but just a one-liner.
Does cheese and rice count? Can I do that?
Absolutely.
My brain immediately went blank. That's such a beautiful question, but that's all I can think of. So unfortunately, that is gonna be my answer.
Cheese and rice.
Cheese and rice.
Amazing. Um, do you have any piece of advice for writers?
Um, I think my biggest one is write the story that you want to tell. First and foremost, make sure it's the one that you want to tell. And then when you have, like, don't write it for other people, write it for you. Write it because you want to read it. Um, and then once you have like beta readers go through and editors, they can help shape it into what it needs to be a cohesive story. But first and foremost, tell the story that you want to tell. Because there's so many people who are like, well, you should have written it like this. You should have done it like that. You should have added this. There's no way that Charlie would have done that. And I think if you have all of those voices in your brain at the start of it, it really like stumps you because then you're writing it for not a, I mean, obviously you're writing it for a purpose, but you're writing it for someone else's purpose. And so just tell the story you want to write and make sure that it's something that you can be proud of. It's something that you can champion first, and then have other people kind of help make it what it needs to be and like really flush out. But make sure you know what you're trying to tell first.
Nice. I love that. That's really great advice. And I think it helps with that imposter syndrome of like, no, no, I'm gonna do my thing, and then we'll make it exist first and then we'll polish it.
Yeah, well, because like you have to be your main cheerleader, right? Like no one else is gonna love this story like you love it. So if you have to be the one to be like, I believe in it the most. I love this story the most. And there are days where I'm like, I wish I never wrote this because it's garbage. but but on the other days when nobody else is saying nice things about you, to be like, no, I made this decision. I'm sticking by it. This is the story that I want to tell.
Absolutely. Well, it's good to know that it never ends.
And it's the worst thing to say to be like, and it never gets better. Have fun. Go
I'm
sit at
telling you,
your
it's
keyboard.
madness. All right. Well, shameless plug, where can we find you? Where we can get more of you? What's going on? What's next? Etc.
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Michelle N. Hagood. I have a website that you can buy books directly from me, and all of them come signed and wrapped and with a wax seal. Up next, book three comes out June 6th of this year, which is Insanity. And there's a lot of fun art projects that I've been working on. There's actually a series that I'm doing where I'm like, did you want a sneak peek at book three? Let me draw it for you. So I have some fun little posts like that are coming up. Um, yeah, book three is really the thing that's dominating my brain right now. So get the Rain
Great.
of Fire. It's coming out.
Nice. Can't wait. I am probably gonna read book two when we hang up. So, um,
I always waffle back and forth if book two or three is my favorite in the series. So I'll
wow.
think you'll really enjoy it.
Nice. Amazing. Well, this concludes our interview. Thank you so much for coming in and being the first episode of season two. It's going to be great this year. Season one was kind of the trial period. You're the first of, I think we're going to have 30 people this year. So,
That's so
um,
exciting. Congratulations.
thanks. No, and thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I didn't know if you were gonna say yes, and when you did, I got so excited. One, because I obviously schedule the books I'm gonna read throughout the year, as you can imagine, and then I try to
Yeah.
sneak in other books along the way as trends happen and things like that. But I was excited to read the book, but more than that, I was, the show makes me read them faster. And and I saw your TikToks and your personality, and I was like, oh my god, she'll be a great guest, and you
Well,
have.
thank you
So
so
thanks so
much
much.
for reaching out. It was so fun to talk to you. And like the moment that you were like, hey, I have a podcast, let's talk. And I like scrolled through your videos and I was like, yes, please, we're doing
Oh,
it.
thank you so much. Well, yeah, so definitely support the show. It gets better every time. I feel like every interview it gets a little bit better. Um, and yeah, no, the goal is to amplify indie authors because I do believe in the indie mission, and like, why give your money away to a distributor? Do it yourself, and you're gonna suffer anyway, right? So
If you're going to suffer, do it the right way. Do
Well,
it the
thank you so
hardest
much.
way that you can. Yeah.
Absolutely. Just, you know what? You're gonna have a bad time, so just have the worst time. And
Exactly.
somehow,
Commit to the pain. Commit to
and,
the bit.
and somehow doing it the worst way ends up being the best way. I don't know. It's like M dashes and semicolons. I can't explain it, but it's the truth.
It is. It is. Yeah. We're in pain, but we're having a good time.
Yep, yep, absolutely. 100%. Well, thank you so much. Please keep me posted, and I love chatting with people I interview forever. I feel
Yeah,
like
we're
it's a
friends
rite of
now, is
passage.
basically what I figured. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're besties, and for book two, we're doing tea at that castle,
Yeah.
and yeah, risk it for the biscuit. Exactly. I love your fans, by the way. Your fans are amazing. I feel like your fans would go to this school. Like, you know what
Oh,
I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah.
Like your fans are people that go to this school, like they're characters. They're just of that world.
I
Um,
would love to have like a test or something that could like you are a common seven, like you are a royal nine. Like I would love some kind of test
oh, that'd be
that
so
like
cool.
distributes that so you could see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't know if it would be a dream come true to go to the Magisterium, Kiriga. It is a terrible place to be. It's haunted.
It is very haunted. That's true. I think
There's
it'd be
very little
cool.
sunlight in that place.
Look, the moment they could change their hair color, I was all in.
That's fair.
Like,
That's
I
fair.
was like, wait, what? Duh! Like, why? I was suddenly very angry that no one had done that before in fantasy. I was like, of course, that's the first thing everyone would do.
Yeah.
Like, I
Mhm.
would totally have a blue mohawk for a while just because it's a swish. You know, why not?
Why not? Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I digress. Well, thanks again so much. This has been so much fun. I feel like we could talk for hours, and I do hope we meet again and meet in person, maybe sometime. If you have a signing or anything, let me know.
Yeah. Have
Um,
you I'll do another shameless plug. Have you heard of the Book Bash?
uh-uh. What is
It's
it?
an event that's happening August of this year, the 7th and the 8th. It has the first night is Book Bash After Dark, and it has 34 authors, and it's focusing on books to read when the lights go out. So there's dark
Ooh,
fantasy, dark romance, thrillers, mystery, horror. There's going to be an open bar and snacks. And
love
then
that.
on Saturday, it's a full day thing, and it has 84 different authors of all kinds of genres, mostly indie authors. And so it's just like a $10 door fee for Saturday, and then you get access to all of these authors, and you get to buy books, and you get to buy lemonade and coffee. It's so much fun.
It sounds
So yeah,
awesome.
I'll be there.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right. I have to let me leave this open so that I remember and put it in my calendar. Because if it's not in the calendar, it's not happening.
It doesn't exist. Yes.
It does not exist. Oh, this is so cool. I'm so glad you live in Colorado. That I'm trying to
This is
kill
so fun.
all the writers I interview are always either in one end of the continent or the other or in Texas. Like,
Yep. Yep.
well, thanks again. Have a great night. And again, thank you so much for joining
No,
me.
thank you so much. You were a total delight to talk to, and I only see great things for you with this podcast, and I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, good night. Cheese and rice.
Cheese and rice.